The following is a presentation of the HAN Network, the leader for local news, sports, and entertainment in Fairfield and Westchester counties.
It's a cloudy night, but we're looking forward to some boys soccer here on the HAN Network. And from Taft Field on the campus of Fairfield Ludlowe, it is indeed boys soccer as the Fairfield Ludlowe Falcons take on the Wilton Warriors. Should be a good matchup tonight between two teams coming in with 3 wins on the year. 3-1-0 for the Warriors, 3-0-1 for the Falcons. With Tim Murphy, I'm Rob Adams. And Mark, I think we've got a good one on our hands tonight.
It's the Fairfield two-step for Wilton. Monday they traveled to Fairfield. Ward was undefeated coming in tonight. Another undefeated Fairfield. Maybe a little bit of a steal challenge.
Best in the FCAC, Murph. And, what will we see? I mean, the last time we saw the Warriors, we saw them kind of battle to a 3-2 loss with the Greenwich Cardinals, allowing the Cardinals a 3-0 start. But they came back and played well down the stretch.
We might not see many goals, that's for sure. I mean, Ludlowe hasn't given up a goal this season. Wilton a little more lenient on defense, but Ludlow, it's going to be the key. Can Wilton unlock them and get a goal and see how they respond? If Wilton can take a lead in this game, could be imperative.
So we're excited for this one tonight. The Wilton Warriors decked out in blue, the Fairfield Ludlowe Falcons in the white. We're looking forward to it, and it's coming up in just a matter of moments. We're out for a break from here at Taft Field. We come back to get it all started right after this on the HAN Network.
When you experience a sports injury, you want to get better and fast. Coastal Ortho Express gives you direct access to orthopedic care quickly. Their physicians are fellowship trained in sports medicine at world-class universities and are also team doctors for area football teams. For specialized personal care of sports injuries, go to Coastal Ortho Express. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building, 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or coastalorthoexpress.com. Coastal Orthopedics, keeping you on the move.
Does buying a car leave you feeling like you're chasing your tail? Head straight to Pamby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram and take car buying in a whole new direction.
A tardy official, the reason for a little bit of a delayed start, but not delayed too badly. With Tim Murphy, I'm Rob Adams back here at Taft Field. So they've got to go over the captain's conversations, Murph. So a slight delay. We were expecting a 6 o'clock kick. We could still be off and running by 6, but maybe a hair tardy.
Must have been coming I-95 north.
That's a safe bet, although the Merritt you never know as well.
True.
But with the one thing, and I made this mistake, I was teaching down in Wilton today, and, I did jump on the Merritt and come up the Merritt, and you hit traffic in the, kind of the Westport, Weston exits, that stretch. But, of course, when you make that mistake of getting on the Merritt, you got to kind of wiggle your way down through Fairfield to get to Fairfield Ludlowe because you're literally in the shadow of I-95. It's to our right.
Right. So I came on 95. Stop
Safe
and
bet.
go, but more direct when you finally make it off 95.
Yep. Note to self: always coming out of Wilton, go down and get on 95. But so it goes. But as we look at the standings coming into today, Murph, Danbury looking outstanding. They've got 4 wins on the year, but so does Fairfield Ward. They do have a loss though.
Right, yeah. Ward has 1 loss, and Wilton, of course, 1 loss. And the key for Wilton today will be getting off to a better start, as we saw against Greenwich. I mean, they fell down 3-0 at halftime, came back, cut it to 3-2, really carried the play in the second half. But, they're going to want a better start.
Greenwich 3-0-2 on the year in the West Division with Staples, Trumbull, Stamford, and West Hill all having 2 wins apiece. In the East Division, it's Ward atop at 4-1-0 with Ludlow at 3-0-1. Then Wilton with 3 wins as well, followed by Darien, New Canaan, McMahon with 2 wins apiece. But, of course, you also factor points in the overall standings, so certainly that's a factor.
Right. It's a little that early season logjam. Fairfield Ludlow, Greenwich supposedly the cream of the crop, so we'll see how things work out.
When do you sense that things kind of begin to break apart? As you said, a little bit of a logjam. When do you get that sense that things kind of break
Usually
up?
about the 8-game mark, midway through, you start to see a little separation. the top teams will kind of distance themselves. But there'll still be probably a battle for the top spot. I don't think any team is that good to run away with it this year.
The officials talking across the way with the captains at this point, talking certainly with members of the Wilton Warriors. As I said in the opening, they're decked out in their blue tops and bottoms tonight, while Ludlowe to our left, the white tops and bottoms with the blue accents. So certainly as they shake hands now, we see the Ludlowe captains coming out of that conversation as well, and that will just about get us set to get this one going. And we're just about at 6 o'clock, so tardy officials and all, we should be good to go. So we will take another break. We will come back, get it going, starting right after this. Boys soccer, Fairfield Ludlowe and Wilton, coming up next on the HAN Network.
Football University, the nation's leading football training experience, is now accepting applications for its 2015 camps. Our elite faculty of NFL coaches and top professionals teach position-specific on the field and in the classroom to improve your football IQ and help you reach your full potential as a player. Apply today at footballuniversity.org. Football University, where technique plus talent beats talent alone.
Back to school means back to busy, and Stewart's Market can save you precious time by stocking all of your favorite essentials under one roof. For a healthy start to school, we have all the ingredients. Walter Stewart's, your family-owned fresh local market, 229 Elm Street and at stewartsmarket.com.
While the temperatures are cooling down, the fall bite is heating up. Albies, bonita, blackfish, alligator blues, and stripers are following the large schools of bait that are abundant in the Long Island Sound. If you love the New England coast during autumn, this is the time to be on the water. The latest from Shimano, Quantum, Avet, Hoagie, Phase 2 and more are in stock and ready to go at the Dock Shop. And don't mind those fall breezes with jackets, hats, gloves, and fleece from Grundens and Stormer. The Dock Shop will keep you warm and dry. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
Carl Chevrolet is proud to sponsor HAN Network's coverage of the area's best high school sports. No matter the sport, competition in the FCIAC is spirited, so get out and cheer on your favorite team. If you can't make it to the game, be sure to bring HAN Network with you to keep up with the action.
This is the home of the Fairfield County Interscholastic Athletic Conference, your home for FCIAC sports, the HAN Network.
We welcome you back to Taft Field as we get ready to get going. And the Warriors begin to make their way out. That blue that they use, it's a navy. As I've mentioned before, sometimes they also have this tendency to use this kind of lighter nautical blue that's really nice, but sometimes they'll use that as an accent color. You might even be able to spy it on the outline of the numbers, but it's a really sharp look for the Warriors. I've always liked their kits and the other uniforms that they wear.
Right, they added that sky blue probably about 10 years ago, I think, and it adds a nice little touch.
And now out come the Falcons. And they're still the newest entry to the FCIAC in that they were once Roger Ludlowe High School, of course, years ago. That closed in 1986, and the old Ludlowe High School became essentially a middle school for a stretch, reopened around 2003, and then they rebuilt a new Roger Ludlowe Middle School across the way.
Right, and when they were combined as one Fairfield High, they really dominated some sports. So the separation probably good for the rest of the FCIAC.
So 2 teams come out into the field. Wilton down to our right. And, of course, they bounced between Bascom and Livingstone last week in net. That looks like Livingstone, but, again, without a number, Murph, it's always hard to see.
I know, and they're the same height, which doesn't help us either. Both tall, about 6'2", 6'3". The Ludlowe goalie is wearing number 1, so that we can identify him.
And that would be Frederick Marr.
Right. He's good, one of the FCIAC's best returning starter.
I'm in favor of everyone wearing numbers.
Right.
It's just easier. I know I'm trying to reinvent the wheel, but in any event.
Or names on the back of the shirts. How about that?
Yeah, that would come in handy, too. That happens even less frequently. According to the scoreboard, 73 degrees as we kick things off here on a really lovely night in Fairfield. Not all that far from the coastline. Of course, you pass 95 to the south, and coastline's not all that far away from here. It's but a beautiful night. Taken over on the near side for Wilton, and that's Watson. Now it's turned over, taken back by Almeida for the Falcons. Spinning around and firing it over to the near side, and it comes out to that near side. So the Warriors will take it, moving from right to left.
That could have been dangerous, a giveaway there by the Wilton defense, but Ludlowe not able to do anything with it.
And then it'll bounce right back over near the track.
And we'll see if Wilton can do a better job linking passes in this half compared to the first half against Greenwich, where they really struggled to build up any play.
So it'll be thrown in by Watson. And he does get it in. Bouncing around, was trying to get it toward Ahlers for the Warriors. We knew that was a key player from our game last week with the Greenwich Cardinals.
Right, remember how him and Brandt are their two main scorers, and they kind of pulled them back, tried to give them different looks, move them forward.
Over to the far side it goes, taken by the Falcons. No score, just a minute and change gone by. We're just warming up the seats here at Taft. On that far side, it's the Warriors with a little bit of a breeze blowing. We'll certainly keep that in mind as it bounces to the far side. See if the Warriors can get anything going. As we mentioned, the
Lord takes a shot high.
The defense has just been so good, and the whole performance of the Falcons. 1-0, they beat Ridgefield, 3-0 over Darien, 3-0 over St. Joe's, and a scoreless tie against the Trumbull Eagles.
And you can see right away on that position, they kept Wilton at distance, forced a long shot. One way to cut down on goals and make those shots come from far away.
On the far side, trying to knock it away was Patrick Printer for the Warriors. Instead, it's the Falcons trying to break in, and it'll be spun back.
Offsides.
Of course, that's always one of those rules that is probably the toughest to explain in soccer. And I know there was a fairly famous offsides in a World Cup game that involved the U.S. not all that long ago that really got a lot of conversation going. But I wouldn't even say, I'm completely comfortable with it.
Well, the rule is fairly clear, but it's just in doing it in real time.
Right.
Especially in high school where you don't have a linesman assigned to pretty much that duty.
Right, two officials here.
Right, here we got referees trying to call offsides from behind the play, which, it's really hard to see if the defender forward was even with the defender.
Scoots around, and it's taken by Daniel Jensen of the Warriors. Jensen had a head of steam as he broke away from Brandon Lane of the Falcons, but it got redirected by Marr, so no score with just about 3 and change gone by, almost 3.5 in the first half.
Jensen really pushing forward on that one, a run from midfield. We didn't see that in the Greenwich game.
No, that was an aggressive play for sure. To the near side, Watson. He's got it. Rolls it down, but it gets pooched right back and into the Warrior zone. So spinning around and knocking it away is Watson. Good job there as Michael McCardle, a senior for Fairfield Ludlowe, came over. It'll be thrown in by Matthias Nascimento. And that's one of those names that if I'm saying it wrong, a gentle nudge and I'll try to adjust it.
That is a golden soccer name.
It sure is. Still no score. McCardle for the Falcons sends it across. Almeida was there as well, but instead it's going to go in favor of the Warriors. 4 and change gone by. First half, no score.
Good job by Nigerian there to shield the ball. It's such an important quality in soccer. It's shielding the ball, keeping possession.
Off the header, it comes out of bounds to the near side.
Little moments that you don't see as dramatic during the game, but really add up if you can keep control.
Watson, the throw-in, redirected off the head of Trip McGarry. So it'll be the Falcons on the attack. They move from left to right in the home whites. With no score, first half. Far side. Nice ball movement so far, but a whistle will pause things right there.
a lot of the play bottled up in midfield so far. So we'll see if either team can switch the ball, trying to open up space, move it side to side.
So the Falcons will set things up.
We'll see what they can do in this free kick.
And off the free, it's pooched down. A lot of traffic out in front. Now stolen away, pinballing off a couple of players. Thrown down, and they score! How about the lift by Mason Jennings to make it 1-0?
And Rob, he beautifully curled that shot in. Wilton goalie did very well to come out on the free kick, punch the ball, kind of ping-ponged around, and then Jennings picked it up, and that unstoppable. Wilton goalie couldn't get back, and that perfectly placed.
So with 5:33 gone in the first half, it's 1-0.
And that goal showed, you don't always need power. Sometimes you need placement, and that ball had spin and lofted in perfectly.
Jennings is a senior, and it's a 1-0 lead.
Now, this is what Wilton didn't want, to fall behind this team.
Right. Well, it's just been so difficult to score, so certainly a little bit of a headache now for the Warriors, who trail by 1.
Once Ludlow gets a lead, they're tough to beat. And we'll see if they play a little more defensively the rest of the half, or they'll keep pushing forward.
That was Carlos Hernandez who got knocked down, so he comes back up. But a beautiful kick by Jennings. He was a good 15 yards out, maybe even 25, and he sent it right in for the 1-0 lead.
And a little bit of a sharp angle, too.
Yeah. That's McCardle for the Falcons, sending it across. Nascimento on the near side, working his way through traffic.
Ravichandran did well to disrupt that pass.
Matthew Ravichandran did indeed, because streaking down was McCardle.
That could have been a breakaway if it got by Ravichandran.
Over on the far side, Almeida took a seat for a moment. He climbs right back up. Kevin O'Hara, the Fairfield Ludlowe head coach, and Jim Lewicki on the far side for Wilton. And it's Ludlow on top, 1-0. As down goes...
Brandt was taken down.
Yep. It was Jack Brandt.
A beautiful turn by Brandt. He had two Ludlow players on him and was able to turn, beat them both, taken down. So Allers will take the penalty kick, as he did against Greenwich. We've seen this before. So
this is a big moment right here.
Oh, this is huge. This is exactly what Wilton wanted.
Right. Let's see. The approach and the kick. And he goes top shelf.
Almost the same placement as against Greenwich. And it worked. Maybe Ludlow hadn't seen the advanced videotape. But good power. Not much the goalie could do on that. If you strike a penalty kick that hard and with that kind of location, accuracy, not many goalies are going to stop it.
Goal by number 9, Harrison Ehlers.
So Allers ties the game at 1. You can kind of spy the voice of the athletic director here at Fairfield Ludlowe, the great Dave Schultz.
And that's the first goal Ludlow's given up.
That's right. Dave, one of those wealth of knowledge type of guys, because he's been around the FCAC so long. Every time I mention him, I can't help but mention that he was also at Fairfield Ward for many years and was a wonderful basketball coach there. Did a great job with the Mustangs. When I first met him, it was the early 2000s, and they were always good year after year. Getting knocked around on the near side was Almeida, the senior. Tangled up with Hernandez. Into that corner it goes.
Good ball control by Almeida, but then at the end couldn't keep it from going over the touchline.
So it was Allers at 6:58, the 7th minute, if you will.
And it's always nice when you've got such a dependable penalty kick taker.
Yeah. You can hear the breeze coming through our crowd mic. It is a breezy night here in Fairfield. Game 2 of 3 for us this week with football, the FOOT type, on Saturday.
Second offside on Ludlowe.
So the Warriors will make the approach. From right to left they go. Working it out toward midfield, but turning it over to Nicholas DeMasso, a senior. Coming over near side is Jennings. Jennings has the Ludlowe goal, Allers, so both number 9s with the goals.
Jennings with a little pirouette there to keep control.
Far side, Nick DeVatzes for Wilton. Spinning it back. And back to grab it is Ravichandran. So they'll throw it over to the near side. With this game tied at 1, Wilton and Fairfield Ludlowe. That's Ravichandran. Get it out near midfield, but Trip McGarry sent it back.
Ludlow's stepped up their pressure now on the Wilton players with the ball.
Almedia let it roll in deep, but the Warriors right there to throw it back the other way. It's been a big week for us around here. Not only soccer, but field hockey debuting. I have to admit, I kind of enjoyed field hockey the other night. Here's Jennings, and then it'll roll out.
You didn't wear a skirt in the booth, did you?
I did not. I went for the shorts that night. My legs are not the best.
No, this might be a long throw into the box.
And indeed it is.
Oh, and back-heeled it.
Yep.
Style points, but...
Style points through new goalposts, I might add.
It was an extra point there.
Yeah. It's nice to see on the ribbon board up above the time. They welcome the HAN Network live streaming, so we appreciate the welcome here tonight.
And that was Nick Restrepo. That would have been a highlight reel goal if that went in.
It sure would have been. The north goalpost, the one down to our left, actually got bent in some hurricane activity. And so finally, after a few years, they were able to replace them, and those are brand new. They will make their debut. And the field as well is brand new turf. Just got put down. In fact, I was here the other day. I was here this week, and they were repainting the lines out on the track.
And that must have taken a while because there are quite a few lines out there.
There are. Those guys were working hard. It was a warm day here for sure. We have 10 minutes gone, almost 11 to be exact in the first half. We're tied at 1. On the far side.
No, these coaches won't be happy with all that ball in the air. Not on the ground. Much harder to control.
On the throw in, it comes into Tulio Almedia. And it rolls down toward the Wilton goal. 11 and a half gone by in the first half of a 1-1 game.
Almedia was thinking cross on that, but no one else on Ludlowe read his mind.
This will roll all the way down toward Marr to our left. And he'll bring it all the way back out. Bouncing around, though, Timothy Watson there for the Warriors. Sent back by Hernandez. Now
nice idea by Hernandez there.
And that's the Falcons with it in the white. That's Almedia. There are 2 Almedias to be exact. Tarcio and Tulio. To the far side it goes. Benjamin Albee for the Warriors in a 1-1 game first half.
I just see Tulio out there. I don't know if his...
I'm pretty sure I saw Tarcio at one point. Yeah, okay. Sophomore. So runs in the family there. And so many of these sports do, as we know. We see, especially in football, the American style. Seems like there are always brothers, cousins, and so on playing it from generation to generation, but you really see it in so many different sports. So this gets booted down in close, but rolled over to the near side of the Wilton net.
Almost a replica of that first, how they scored the first goal.
Yeah.
But this time able to collect the ball.
Out to midfield.
Back header.
Over to the near side. That was Jennings. And he'll turn down to our right. Thrown in by Nascimento. Trying to set it up out in front. However, came back over to the near side.
Good clear by Devotsis there. That could have been. It was a dangerous cross.
Yeah.
Quick throw in caught Wilton by surprise. Ball placed nicely in the front, but Devotsis there to break it up.
13 and a half gone in the first half. And we're tied at 1. So it'll be Ravichandran, the senior, for Wilton. A little bit of a raucous crowd here tonight. In fact, the student cheering section, nice to see. Wasn't able to spot them till just now, but they're down to our left. Bounces around, spinning around, and the Falcons will reset. That is indeed Tarcio Almeida wearing 18.
With the green shoes.
Yes.
Lime green.
I like those. Bordering on neon. Brendan Lane, number 8 on that far side. 1-1 game. Jennings and Allers, the goal scorers. Allers was a penalty. Rolls down close and coming out to play it.
Was that Damaso trying to go through the whole team?
I believe it was.
Came close to doing it. His last touch was a little ambitious there. And Wilton goalie able to get to the ball first.
It was Hernandez over there for the Warriors. Then off the head of McGarry.
The light's starting to come out now.
Yeah, you really sense the shadows here at Taft Field. Some sunlight still coming in from behind the press box. So Roger Ludlowe Middle School at this point largely bathed in a beautiful late afternoon sun. And some substitutions coming in.
Several at once for Ludlow. You don't see that too often.
No. Among them, I spy Jack Scoville, number 4, a senior.
I think I saw 3 or 4 come in.
Yeah, Sean Gutierrez, also a senior. Just a couple of the numbers that I was able to spot that are new. But you're right, it was wholesale substitutions for Kevin O'Hara. As we come up on the 16-minute mark of this first half, 1-1. On the near side, Gutierrez. Now over to play it was McGarry. He and Allers got tangled up.
Ludlow with another quick throw. Wilton read this one better.
That got away from Jensen.
And this is a perfect night. If you're a soccer player, I mean, you can't beat playing in this weather.
Oh, it's great weather. Ravichandran went down there. He got tangled up with Gutierrez. They'll both hop right back up. Coming down to the 17-minute mark of the first half in a 1-1 tie.
Wilton with the sub.
I knew I heard the buzzer. I just didn't see the entry.
Jensen's going off.
Yep. I believe David Schneidman replaced him. Yep. Number 3, a senior. So it comes a good 45 yards out, almost 50. We mentioned this, and we've mentioned this a few times. That's where those football markers really come into play.
They do. They give you a perspective on some of the free kicks.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, a little confusing.
Yeah. But from a play-by-play angle, there's a description that you're able to kind of filter in just to how far out things are. But I could see what you're saying, and certainly as a player, I would imagine they'd be somewhat confusing as well.
Well, this field in particular, I mean, there's apparently more lines here than Studio 54 in the 70s.
I believe I'm spying in at least a little banged up Wilton player who I believe might be, is that Hernandez, 19, going over to the far side? Just a little banged up. He's walking around, but certainly being tended to.
And I didn't see what happened to him. He looks a little wobbly.
Yeah. All right, they just got him a seat over on the Wilton bench. 1-1 our score. Clock stopped at the moment with just under 23 minutes remaining in the first half. Back out to midfield it comes. It'll be spun back by the Falcons, trying to grab a head of steam. That's Gutierrez wearing 12 for the Falcons. Pooched around to the near side, jumping into the middle of that was Jack Scoville.
Ludlowe really carrying the attack at this point. Wilton hasn't really been able to get into the attacking zone.
Near side Schneidman had it go off the body of Nascimento. So it'll be thrown back in. And in it comes. Good noise here tonight. Nice crowd on hand.
And you can see the Ludlowe defense, how they really converge on the shooter.
So Wilton will bring it right back in.
Wilton not finding much room up top.
There's the throw in. Turned over loose and he missed it high. Allers had net to shoot at.
Yeah, Rob, the Ludlowe player misplayed that ball. Allers gifted an opportunity, but again, he settled for the field goal instead of the goal.
That was a chip shot field goal, too. So Marr will make the approach and bring it back. Down into the scrum. Loose down there for the Falcons was Gutierrez. Now Gutierrez does get it, and it rolls down toward the Wilton net.
And sometimes when you're Allers, you get that ball, it's right in front of you, your eyes light up. You don't know how much time you have.
I thought I overheard somebody in the crowd saying, "Good job, Mitchell." So that would be Bascom in net right now for Wilton. Alec Williams on for the Falcons. Playing it to the far side. Gutierrez trying to sneak in behind Ravichandran. Now he comes over, and they send it out to the Wilton bench. Tied at 1, coming up on the midway point of the first half.
And there you see why Ravichandran all FCAC last year. Read that play well, came over, cleared it to safety. Allers also on that shot, left foot. He, as we see on his penalty kicks, he prefers his right.
Off the throw-in. Warriors had it with Austin Slater. They're looking to get ahead of steam going the other way. Here's Brandt. Brandt alongside McGarry.
And Brandt's speed forced that ball to be played over the line.
Under 20 to go in the first half.
Good idea from Wilton. That's what they need to do, counter. Quick counters. So Ludlow's really putting people up front, and Wilton's got to kind of spring somebody.
Again, if you're just joining us, for the Falcons, they've allowed their first goal of the season.
Brandt, a good idea, tried to backheel that ball into the middle, but a Ludlowe player was there.
And this is game number 5 of the campaign. It was a penalty shot that got the Warriors on the board.
And these seasons go fast. I mean, we'll be almost to the 10-game mark.
It was 2 goals, Murph, in the span of about a minute 25.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect that pace to continue.
No. Nope. To the near side it started to go. Stays on the far. Trying to set it up over here for Nascimento. And that'll come out.
Watson did well to interrupt that.
It'll be thrown in by Nascimento. He makes the approach and the throw. Got sent back, though, off the head of Ravichandran. Then Nascimento got tangled up with Joshua Reeve of the Warriors.
And Wilton has really withdrawn its forward, so they might be trying to spring Brandt with the long ball.
Excuse me. Yeah, it was Reeve. It was 2. It wasn't Schneidman. It was Reeve. So Ravichandran.
Not as many colorful shoes tonight, but a few.
A few, yep. Those are almost like salmon or red.
Yes. I would go with salmon.
Salmon it is. There's the approach in the boot. Sending it down towards some neon green. That's Schneidman. Schneidman and Nascimento.
32 flavors of cleats.
Yeah.
Wilton with their first corner of the game.
So
See if they
up.
Be looking for Allers and Brandt.
There's the approach. Good job defensively by the Falcons to spin it back. Now trying in transition. They leave it behind. Julian Johansson.
Wilton a little too much leg on that corner. Outkicked his coverage.
Yeah. So it'll be Watson. The officials were not fond of that.
No, was that an illegal throw?
Yep. Watson went to throw it in to Brandt. So down it goes. Watson works it about 20 yards ahead. Brandt went to leave it behind.
And once again, you see how Ludlowe really closes down on the player with the ball.
And the whistle and turning the other way with 16 and a half to go. First half, tied at 1.
We haven't seen much of Jordan Lord with the ball. Wilton's talented midfielder.
Rolls around to the near side.
Lord scored the only goal in their win over Ward on Monday.
Let's remind you our broadcast brought to you by Walter Stewart's Market, Pamby Motors, Coastal Orthopedics, and Carl Chevrolet.
Little mano a mano there.
Gutierrez pushes it ahead for David Bates. Bates, a junior.
Bates showed some good speed. I thought that ball was going to be too far for him, but he caught up to it.
Sorry, folks. This is my one of the game. Bates went a little psycho. Promise that's going to be the last one. It was there.
That was a silver platter.
Yeah. You know if he scores, it's going to be Bates putting it into the motel. No, we'll let it go on that one. So it gets batted away by Reeve for the Warriors.
Yeah, low, almost a ground ball corner.
Yep. Sent back to Patrick Hogan, a senior.
That's why you want to have a defender at the near post on corners.
Out on the far side, Printer was there to touch it. Quick throw in. That was Lord. And out it goes. Just about 14 and a half left in the first half.
I think Wilton will want to get Lord more involved. He's a good distributor from midfield.
Batted around. That is Lord. Nice crowd on hand for the Warriors as well as it comes out to the near side. We'll get some changes, some substitutions. Just one from the appearance of it.
It's good to see some traveling fans midweek.
Owen Evershed went out for Wilton. Looks like he's replaced by Allers. If I think that's 9.
Evershed, one of the rare juniors on this team.
Tulio Almeida. Now Josh Reeve comes in for
Almeida
Wilton.
showing his skill there.
Yep. Almeida now sends it across with just about 13 and a half to go in the first half, tied at 1. Nascimento working his way around Reeve, splitting the defenders, and then just sends it up and through the uprights.
Nice ambition by Nascimento. Got past the defender with a nice little move. Went with the outside of the foot. In-swinger shot, but a little too high.
13:05 to go before the break, tied at 1. The goals came in a hurry, and since then it's been quiet.
There's a giveaway in midfield by Wilton.
Left behind for Nascimento. Over to the near side. Stripping it for a moment was Watson.
Watson's done well at the left fullback spot.
Nascimento will throw it in. Scoville adjusting. Now back it comes toward Alec Williams.
That's always an advantage when you can have a long throw-in.
Yeah.
It almost creates a cross situation into the box.
12 minutes to go, first half. And it's a 1-1 match. Mason Jennings in the 6th minute and Harrison Allers in the 7th. Off the chest of McGarry, for Ludlowe it goes. Dancing around Schneidman. Near side Scoville. Splits it through to Almeida. Stepping away from Allers. Right between the football hash marks. Bounced off Devatzes. Heading toward the far corner. Working it in tight. Ball was loose, taken back by the Warriors.
And the Ludlow player, with his back to the goal, tried to play it back to a teammate, but Wilton was there to intercept.
Working through traffic, this will get knocked out.
Now Media really starting to show his skill now in midfield.
That was McCardle and Ravichandran.
It's tough to dispossess Almeida once he has the ball.
Yeah. So the throw in from the corner. Bounced around loose. Nobody seemed to want it. It goes to the far end.
I don't know if that was Devatzes. Good job for Wilton to get a foot on that.
Yeah. So Hogan will throw it right back in. He dropped down to a knee as he did. 10:49 to go first half, 1-1. Wilton and Fairfield Ludlowe. Except for the disappearance of the sun, it's a very pretty Thursday night with some cloud cover overhead. But enough sun to make the clouds just a touch pink. As Wilton in transition works it all the way down. Ahead of steam, Reeve.
Whoa, Reeve. Good speed, but then a little tractor trailer.
Yeah. I believe he ran over McGarry, but I'm trying to check on the number, and that is the case.
There's some roadkill in that one.
10:05 to go first half, 1-1. So McGarry the approach in the boot. Bouncing over near side. Spun back to Watson. Watson over to Schneidman. Schneidman for the Warriors. They move from right to left in the blue.
Now with under 10 minutes to go, if either team can get a goal here, it would be big going into the second half.
Far side through traffic, Allers. Allers with a head of steam. Trying to break in and out to slide and grab it away is Marr.
Allers found himself with space, tried to use his speed to play the ball ahead to himself. But Marr read that and came out and gobbled it up.
So the Ludlowe keeper sends it all the way back. Devatzes was there for the Warriors. A lot of air. Now it'll be the Falcons. But the Warriors send it right back to our left. Working it between those football hash marks. This will head down into the very back of the facility to our left.
Brandt looking a little frustrated out there. He hasn't really had many chances.
A whole group of subs checking in really for both teams this time. Under 8.5 to go in the first half, tied at 1. So the line drive bounces off of Brandon Lane.
And I don't think Lane was expecting that.
No.
From his own goalie.
So Patrick Hogan will go for the throw-in. And it comes. Out toward midfield. It'll be the Falcons, but down goes Nick Damaso.
And the Ludlow players very good at shielding the ball.
Yeah.
It's tough to get the ball away from them without fouling.
The official having a word with Owen Evershed. That conversation's over with. 7:35 to go first half. Tied at 1. The line drive gets knocked back by the Warriors.
And Wilton playing a lot of people back on those free kicks. They have almost 5 central defenders there.
Brandt making the approach but couldn't get anything on it for the Warriors. Max Najarian for the Warriors on the far side. But it'll be the Falcons with it. That's McGarry. Now Damaso back to McGarry. We'll roll it all the way back to Marr. 6:52 to go, first half. 1-1.
Wilton showing some more aggressive play than they have all half. Jensen, as we've noticed before, he's a very aggressive player. And Evershed, too. I think that's what they'll need to do against this Ludlow defense.
Cole Hawthorne with the throw-in. Now it's Tulo Almeida. Allers.
Nicely done by Allers.
Worked it ahead, but unable to get down there.
Good idea by Allers.
Yeah.
Pass a little too far.
6:03 to go first half, tied at 1. Hawthorne danced around a man, left behind Evershed, working it through traffic, bounced over the head of 2 players, and will be turned the other way.
Wilton playing with a little more passion here in the final minutes of the first half.
It's 5:40 to be exact.
I'm impressed with Jensen. I think he adds a nice physical element.
Yeah.
Wilton's more of a skillful finesse team, but you need to have guys like that can kind of force the play.
Ravichandran standing right near the football 37 to our left.
And they brought Brandt back to take this.
And Brandt does send it down well wide.
He was looking for to find the head of a player, a teammate, but just too far.
Under 5 to go in the first half. We're knotted at 1. First goal in the 6th minute, second goal in the 7th minute, and that's been it. Jennings and Allers. 4:45 to go before the break.
Oh, another
low line drive.
A turf scorcher by.
Yeah. So they'll bring it over near side. Hawthorne. Now back to Evershed. Far side Allers. Had someone wrapped around him. That was Tarcio Almeida. Down to 4:15 to go in the half. It's loose. Oh, streaking down came Jensen.
Very dangerous opportunity for Wilton. Jensen, great job to get the corner over, and Jensen just couldn't quite get to the ball.
Yeah.
But one more step, and he was there with an empty net.
Oh, yeah. Down to 3:40 to go in the first half, tied at 1. So Marr will make the approach.
He gets a little more lift on that. His defense will be thankful.
No worm burners this time.
Well, the last thing you want as a central defender is to turn around and see your goalie.
Yeah, for
drilling
sure.
A goal kick right to your feet.
We gave you the details on the schedule for the Falcons early on. Let's talk a little bit about the Warriors. We kind of broke it down for you last week, but they opened with a 3-1 Lilly Field win over Bridgeport Central, then lost 3-2, of course, as we know, to Greenwich. They also knocked off St. Joe's 3-0 and a 1-0 win, as we mentioned, over Fairfield Ward back on Monday the 21st on what they call the grass soccer field, and I can't imagine that's a whole lot of fun. Do you prefer grass for soccer, or?
I like grass.
You're okay with grass, okay. I know we were, Dave Stewart and I were talking about the idea of field hockey on grass. Now that can't be fun.
No,
I would think that's a better turf game.
Right. That can be a very slow game on grass, especially if there's a little wetness.
Yeah, absolutely. 2.5 to go, first half, 1-1. Rolls right in front of the benches.
Ooh.
And a Warrior gets tripped up.
That could be a card, yes.
And it is.
Yeah, that was a clear card taken down from behind. Cleat first.
Yep.
From behind.
That's Restrepo for the Falcons. Nicholas Alzate Restrepo.
So Restrepo will now go off. Nice opportunity for Wilton here.
And that comes with 2:15 to go before the break. So the Warriors setting up shop. Hawthorne parallel to the 25-yard line. They'll fly down in, and Marr plays that one easily.
Nice ball. He just needed to draw that one out a little bit. But it was well struck.
Initially, he saw the quick outlet, did Marr, but the door, the opportunity kind of closed. So ahead it comes to McArdle. But it's the Warriors able to send it back the other way. Allers across midfield, got past Brandt, who had it taken away from him by DeMasso with 1:45 to go in the first half. Rolling it through. Taken away by Scoville, but it's Ravichandran, the opposite number 4. Down goes Evershed, but he jumps right back up, looking for something. Sent just wide by McArdle.
Yeah, McArdle, good idea.
Yeah.
Went far post. I think he was trying to get a shot off there. I don't think that was a cross, but.
Yeah, it seemed like a shot more than,
It could have turned into a good cross if the Ludlowe player been able to get to it.
1:09 to go before the break and a 1-1 tie.
That was a bad giveaway by Wilton.
Yes. Bounced around. It's the Warriors coming away with it. Turn back, though, and it'll come out near side. Jensen again, but he'll leave it behind. On the throw-in, it goes to Dominic Favila. Taken by McArdle. 39 to go before the break. Rolling around far side. And it gets away from Jonathan Prisco, a senior for Fairfield Ludlowe.
Let's see if Wilton can build one more attack.
25 to go, first half. Far side Evershed, down to 17. Falcons trying to get an attack going here. Able to get something on it with Scoville. Working it through, though, it's Ravichandran as we're down to 5.
Nice speed by Scoville.
Yeah, down to 1, and the first half will come to an end. For a moment, we had a scoring barrage. Then everything got back to good soccer. And you said it, Murph. We weren't going to see it at that kind of pace. It's certainly become more of a defensive game. We're tied at 1 at the break.
Right, and Ludlowe giving up their first goal of the season on a penalty kick didn't affect them. They went back to their iron curtain defense after that, and they really closed down on the Wilton forwards. You can see Brandt looks a little frustrated. So Wilton at halftime is going to kind of need to devise a way to spring people quicker, counterattack. I think the best bet would probably be to counterattack Ludlowe.
So we will grab a break here at the break. Indeed, at halftime of a pretty good soccer match between Wilton and Fairfield Ludlowe. Our halftime score is Wilton 1, Fairfield Ludlowe 1. Eric Gendron tickling the ivories to our left. We'll take a break. We'll come back to Taft Field in just a moment right here on the HAN Network.
Alliance. We are an industry leader in coordinating transportation for large events such as corporate road shows, conferences, and special events. Our team of experts understands the dynamics and logistics of high-pressure situations and complex arrangements, all within a rapidly changing environment. Since 1999, we have added charter jets, event management, and personal protection to our range of services. Mention this ad for $25 off your next round-trip reservation. Alliance and you. Together, we can achieve the extraordinary. 855-546-6996 or alliancelimo.com.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332. And online at stratfordsmile.com.
Have no fear. Hersom Acorn's Fast Frights movie contest is here. Can your film make the cut? Submit your original 3-minute horror movie today. Visit fastfrights.com for more details.
Remind you of the last time you went into a car dealership? Experience stress-free waters at Pamby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram and find out how easy buying a car really is.
This is the home of the Fairfield County Interscholastic Athletic Conference, your home for FCAC sports, the HAN Network.
Halftime here at Taft Field on the campus of Fairfield Ludlowe High School. And it's 1-1 in boys soccer between Wilton and Fairfield Ludlowe. The Falcons getting the first goal to start the day from Mason Jennings. That came in the 6th minute. Now, you know, as a guy who's called so many other sports, I'm always inclined to give the exact time. And I know it's a soccer thing to say it was 6 minutes, 7 minute. But to be exact, it was 5 minutes and 33 seconds in, while Harrison Aller scored at 6:58, so in the 7th minute, if you will. And that was a penalty kick. So 1-1 our halftime score, and really a good one so far. I mean, you know, we've seen a couple of very decent soccer matches to get our schedule started here on the HAN Network. We've seen some girls action as well, and now a couple of boys games, and we've got plenty of football coming to you this Saturday from Greenwich High School's Cardinal Stadium. Really interesting game that we'll obviously get into a lot more in depth on Saturday, and we'll begin things with FCAC tailgate at 1 o'clock on Saturday from Cardinal Stadium, a full hour of things that probably won't be related to the football game between Greenwich and Darien. We'll break that all down in the second hour, which is FCAC game day, and then we'll rerun some of that for you between 3 and, let's say around 3:50, 3:55, and then Chris Irway and I will have the call for you as Greenwich and Darien meet, two longtime FCAC rivals. Lately, it's been the Blue Wave having the better of the activity. For a long time, it had been the Cardinals, but lately, the Blue Wave have been the better of the two teams. We'll see what this year's edition brings at Cardinal Stadium in Greenwich. Greenwich is going to need to find a defense for sure. That seems to be the big overriding factor. At the same time, there's no doubt that the Blue Wave can put points up, but they were also able to keep Stanford off the board. Greenwich seemed to struggle keeping Trinity Catholic from finding the end zone. So, with all that said, John Marinelli's first home game as head football coach at Greenwich High School. That's coming your way Saturday, and a full day of coverage right here on the HAN Network. And Chris and I looking forward to having the call for you on Saturday afternoon and come on out. I think we still have some T-shirts hanging around that we can give away, so certainly come on out, find the RV, find all of us, and say hello if you will. We can take another time out here and come back for second half activity. 1-1 our score. Mason Jennings and Harrison Allers the goals. Wilton 1, Fairfield Ludlowe 1. We're back after this on the HAN Network.
When you experience a sports injury, you want to get better and fast. Coastal Ortho Express gives you direct access to orthopedic care quickly. Their physicians are fellowship trained in sports medicine at world-class universities and are also team doctors for area football teams. For specialized personal care of sports injuries, go to Coastal Ortho Express. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark Building, 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or coastalorthoexpress.com. Coastal Orthopedics, keeping you on the move.
Carl Chevrolet is proud to sponsor HAN Network's coverage of the area's best high school sports. No matter the sport, competition in the FCIAC is spirited, so get out and cheer on your favorite team. If you can't make it to the game, be sure to bring HAN Network with you to keep up with the action. Visit Carl Chevrolet in New Canaan or online at carldirect.com.
The fall bite is heating up. Albies, bonita, blackfish, alligator blues, and stripers are following the large schools of bait in the Long Island Sound. This is the time to visit the New England coast, and the Dock Shop can get you outfitted with the latest fishing gear, jackets, hats, gloves, and fleece. Boater, beach bum, fishermen simply love the New England coast. This is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
Tired of all the bull? Relax and enjoy the experience of buying a car at Pamby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram. No bull allowed.
Back to school means back to busy, and Stewart's Market can save you precious time by stocking all of your favorite essentials under one roof. For a healthy start to school, we have all the ingredients. Walter Stewart's, your family-owned fresh local market, 229 Elm Street and at stewartsmarket.com.
This is the home of the Fairfield County Interscholastic Athletic Conference, your home for FCIAC sports, the HAN Network.
Back at Taft Field, just alongside I-95. We are down. It's down to our right beyond the south end zone with Tim Murphy. I'm Rob Adams. Getting ready for the second half. We're tied at 1. And Murph, what adjustments would you make, if any?
Well, as we said right before, as we went to the break, Wilton, what can they do to break down the Ludlowe defense? They got the one nice Brandt able to draw the penalty with a nice spin, but they really weren't able to build up sustained offense. I think they're going to need to do some quick counters with Ludlowe pressing forward, and try and spring Brandt, who's got a lot of speed.
The Falcons return to the field. They will occupy the side to our right now, with Frederick Marr standing down to our right.
Now, can you see if 95 is cleared up?
You really can't at this time of year. Pretty soon, once those leaves begin to fall, and unfortunately they will very soon, you'll get a better sense of 95. It's just kind of through the trees, not that close, but close enough. Waiting for the return of the Warriors. Now they break their huddle. Lights very much in effect now here. As we mentioned, cloud cover overhead, but the moon popping through from time to time to say hello.
Getting ready for that eclipse this weekend, right?
That's right. I know it happened yesterday, but I would be remiss if I didn't at least spend a couple of seconds on the passing of Yogi Berra this week. And, you talk about a heck of a life. At the age of 90, that's a guy who certainly had a little bit of Forrest Gump in him, I think.
Right, he really did. And old stories seemed such a likable guy. Of course, I never got to see him play.
No, I came within about 5 rows of getting an autograph from him in 1980.
Okay.
An April 1980 game against the Brewers. He was a coach by then under, at that point, would have been Dick Hauser. Billy Martin was gone. Billy Martin was the one who brought him back as a coach. And I got a good fair amount of the way down. It was in the lower bowl of the old stadium, and a guard shooed me away, I guess because I didn't have tickets to that area.
So you spotted Yogi. You were going.
We looked each other in the eye.
Okay, but you were on a mission to.
I was on a mission to get that, at least shake his hand.
Right.
You know, I've got my fair share of autographs. I don't know that my life really has any impact because of them, but that chance to just say hello to someone, that's always kind of nice. And you and I both in the business that we're in, we've been blessed with some wonderful opportunities. Do you have a favorite? Do you still kind of feel at least a little rush when you get to talk or see somebody?
I do, not quite as much. I guess, you know, as you're in the business for years, you meet people, the thrill goes away a little. It's always interesting to hear their stories.
I would say potentially in early October. There's one that could rattle my cage a bit as it comes over to the near side. Of course, we had the great joy of having Bernie Williams on not too long ago on Nutmeg Sports, and it was kind of fun to watch the crew. I kind of said to them, does anyone have a question you want me to ask? And they all said, no, you're covering it. You've got everything taken care of. So that's kind of nice.
Now, was Bernie in the studio?
Bernie was not in the studio.
Okay.
We had him on the phone, but he was fun.
Yeah, that was a good interview.
So still hoping, I don't want to reveal the name, but still hoping for a pretty big one in October here on the HAN network that I know you were heavily involved in getting for us. As this comes out to the near side, we stay tied at 1. But there's no doubt, you know, to have the chance to interview your boyhood heroes and spending a half hour talking to Terry Bradshaw one time was just remarkable for me, even if it was only on the phone. So we certainly are blessed with some of the stuff we get to do.
It's always nice when those interactions go better than, because it can go the other way, too.
It can. It can. The Bradshaw one had me nervous, but he couldn't have been a nicer guy. Rolling over to the far side. It's the Falcons moving from right to left in a 1-1 game. Minute and a half gone by. Now the Warriors trying to take it the other way.
Now, if there is a next goal, it probably will be decisive at this point.
I would think so, as this pooched right back out toward the Ludlowe bench.
It would be good for the game if Wilton scored next, because then we'd really see Ludlowe step it up.
Ravichandran will bring it back in. Getting dark enough here that you'll almost want the lights on in the booth pretty soon. I'm not saying we'll actually turn them on, but it's getting dark enough outside, and the cloud cover certainly impacting that. Jack Brandt for the Warriors, and Allers took a seat.
Brandt looking lively to start the half. Good sign for Wilton.
Ravichandran. McCardle tried to steal it away from him. Tied at 1, both teams with 3 wins on the year. We remind you to go check out FCAC.net for all of the information you need regarding the conference. Schedules, standings, tons of information there. All the writing of my colleagues. So tons of information. Of course, go read Murph at the Wilton Bulletin. Not to mention it in Ridgefield as well.
Hernandez, a good idea there, was trying to spring someone on the left wing a little too far. But that's what we're going to need to see Wilton, when they get the ball in midfield, quickly turn and distribute.
3 minutes gone. Second half, tied at 1. Over to that far side, out at the Ludlowe bench. So they'll throw it back in. Bouncing around with Almeida for the Falcons.
Now, is that Printer way over on the left for Wilton? We didn't call his name much in the first half.
Not much.
He
started
the game, but I don't know if he was.
Yeah, I noticed him. I mentioned him on the bench at one point.
Right.
A Falcon is down. That happens to be Richie Bellucci, number 6.
No, this is a good chance for Ludlowe. Let's see who takes this. Media looked like he wanted to take it, but
little chant of Richie Bellucci from the crowd. That is Nicholas Alzate Restrepo, who we saw go off with a card in the first half. Taking a while to set things up. make the approach. And here it comes. Went right into the body of several Warriors. Among them there was Jensen, who we think has played a great game, and this goes over the top, the crossbar, and through the uprights as well. So still tied at 1.
Livingston come out there to take care of the angle. That was a good opportunity for Ludlowe. Yeah, that direct kick slammed right into the wall. Wilton, remember in the Greenwich game, their wall was poorly formed.
Yeah.
Bartles scored a little better on this one.
Of course, Bartles had a huge game with a hat trick.
Pretty much every game he has a huge game.
That's fair. Out to midfield it goes. Restrepo sends it to his right. Gets left behind, goes to the far side. Collision over there between two players, one of them being Jensen, and Jensen sends it back the other way. Then McGarry goes and retrieves it, the senior, with just about 4:40 gone in the second half of a 1-1 tie.
And again, Jensen with that physical style. He's not the biggest guy, but he sure doesn't mind throwing his body around.
As indeed a body goes down right near the corner. And the Warriors all putting their hands up, wanting some kind of a call. So it'll come out of the corner with the approach. 5 and change gone second half, tied at 1. The whistle, and here it is. Sent across through traffic, and it comes over to the near side.
Wow. Allowed to roll right through. So we just needed 1 foot on that. You notice the goals they're on wheels here.
Yes.
I wonder if the goalie could push it back a few yards when the ref's not looking.
From here, it all seems like everything is everyone's on their best behavior so far. Bouncing around off the foot of McCardle. That's Restrepo to go over and grab it. Again, so many colorful sets of soccer cleats. Looks like a nice bluish teal one on the near side. Now breaking in, there's a chance for the Falcons, and it bounces off the body of Ravichandran.
No, Ravichandran did well to come out. Cut that pass off.
Yep, cut off the angle, and Tarcio Almeida will bring it back in from the corner. Still tied at 1. Makes the approach and sends it. Through traffic, it bounces around. And the Warriors think they've got something in transition, but not so fast.
Yeah, they were looking to break Brandt out.
The tall gentleman in the white shirt right near the throw-in is the athletic director at Fairfield Ludlowe, Dave Schultz. Goes off the head of DeMasso. Now turning around, trying to break through. Chance. Going to be a sharp angle. Diving on top of it, ball loose. And then covered. I believe it's Livingstone now in net.
And Livingstone complaining that he was spiked. His hand was on the ground. But Almeida, again, showing great skill to set that ball to the wing.
Booted all the way back out to midfield. That's Bellucci.
Oh, Bellucci.
Showing some movement.
Yes.
Sends it over to his right, to DeMasso. DeMasso all the way down.
Bellucci with those Miami Dolphins aqua.
Uh-huh. That's exactly what I was noting, that kind of teal aqua.
It does make it easier to identify the players.
I think I had a senior prom date who wore a dress in that color. I'm not even kidding. On the near side. In teal, he drops to a knee.
And what, were you wearing all white?
No, I was always a classic black.
Nice.
Although I went to one prom. I went to several. I went to one prom in gray, as I recall. Oh, no, that was a wedding, excuse me. Everything else was black. That's it.
You were a prom crasher?
I don't know. I had the good luck of getting asked to a couple. You know what it was back in those days? It was the matching cummerbund. That's what it was.
Okay.
It was all about that.
Right.
God. Yeesh. Just about 10 minutes gone. Second half. I don't know if we're getting laughed at in the booth, but we certainly deserve it. Near side it goes. Warriors moving from left to right. They're in the blue. Now setting things up was Brandt. And it'll be thrown back in by Bellucci. Bellucci to Brendan Lane. Out toward midfield. Breaking down the near side with a head of steam. Here comes Almeida. Leaves it across. Chance out in front. Ball loose. Another try. Several bodies down there. Here's another one. And it hits the football upright. Hit the crossbar. Restrepo was there.
Now, did that hit the goal crossbar or the football?
I think it hit the football crossbar from what I could see. I thought it was a hair too high. But it certainly had plenty of people up here in the booth giving us a proper ooh and ah.
I think it was Lord. Wilton player did a great job to come back and to break up that the Ludlowe player was in alone.
Out to midfield it goes with Lane. Near side Bellucci. Almeida. And to be exact, it's Tarcio. Out along the far side and right over to the scorer's table. Ten and a half gone by, second half, 1-1.
It does appear that Ludlowe would be the team that has the individual skill to make something happen.
Wilton obviously took advantage of the penalty, and obviously that's, it's the name of the game.
Right.
But yeah, I would think if you're scoring the match, although skating down the near side went Brandt, and out to play it came Marr. I just threw in skating because, starting to get cooler. Work with the pun.
Too soon for that.
I know. I'm in no.
We're gonna skip winter this year.
I'm more than happy to see those sports. It's the snow I don't want to see.
Right.
And the cold temperatures. It's depressing. Anyway, far side.
It is depressing.
Which would lead me to a bunch of promos for Stormcast, and I'm not even willing to think about that. Out into the far corner it goes as we hit just about 28 and a half to go in the second half. And we stay at 1-1. But it has been a good one.
Setting up for another long throw.
There it is. Back it comes off Restrepo.
I think it was that Hernandez who was able to break that up. Wilton has done a good job in their own box clearing the ball. They're really not letting Ludlowe get any loose ball chances.
So it'll be Ravichandran. Play it near side for Devatzes. Under 28 to go, second half. Back is Lane. And they'll roll it back toward the net.
Lane's a key player in their defense, wearing the captain's armband.
And it'll come right out. JP decided to let that one go right in front of our camera. So the throw in on the near side. Almeida left it behind. What a terrific play there. Down into the corner it goes, but bounced out near the corner.
Handball on the ref almost there.
Yeah. Blow the whistle on him.
Might be a card for the ref. So the two Almeidas combining there.
Yeah.
Lovely little back pass from Tulio.
And the long throw in from the corner now for the Falcons. Fairfield Ludlowe and Wilton tied at 1. There is the throw. Climbing the ladder, ball loose. Second try, too high.
Oh, Restrepo, he's going to rue that chance. That ball went right through the goalie's hands. Fell to Restrepo. And just we've seen that a lot tonight, a little too much oomph.
Yeah. 4 players coming in for the Warriors. Full house at Taft? No, I wouldn't say that, but it's a nice little hearty crowd.
I wonder if the football goalposts are distracting to the players. You look up, you see that. Your perspective might be a little off.
And again, they're new, so it's certainly possible. Fresh coat of paint. On the far side, we play on. Heading into that corner. Bounced around off McCardle.
Play getting a little more physical here this half.
Yeah. In the 15th minute of the second half, tied at 1. All the activity in a span, the scoring of a minute 20. Jennings and Allers in the first half. Silent since then.
A few good chances for each team.
Without a doubt. Plenty of good action.
Allers had the opportunity for Wilton.
Yeah.
Put it over. Restrepo right there.
2 players colliding. McCardle there on the far side. And we get a whistle.
A cleanly played game, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Got the 1 card, but nothing too egregious.
Yeah. Josh Reeve gets it ahead. That's Brandt down the near side.
Nice header from Reeve to Brandt on the run.
Brandt, Reeve again, and then right back out. That's Bellucci over there for Ludlowe. 15.5 gone, second half. Bellucci pooches it right over here. Again, JP another opportunity, and he just watches it go by.
He's indifferent.
He is.
I thought he'd do a little juggling there, Willie.
I was hoping. Be off camera, though, so it would only be us that would get to see it. Now changes for the Falcons. They send in 4 players. Tulio Almeida, along with Restrepo, will go off, as well as Jennings. So they'll reset shop. And here's the long pooch down.
Marr a little better on that goal kick than some we saw in the first half.
Marr seemed very committed to laser beams in the first half.
Much to the dismay of his back line.
Yeah. He hit one of them at least once. Off the header, comes back out. About 30 yards out. Of course, if you're using the football numbers, just add 10 more because it's on the back line.
It was a inadvertent handball. Ludlowe should be able to set up an opportunity in the box here.
McGarry will make the approach and bring it back in.
And he's going to hit an in-swinger with his right foot.
There it is. Loose out in front, and climbing and grabbing it is Livingstone.
That's the advantage of being a tall goalie.
A long goal kick comes down. Played by McGarry. And that was a collision between DeMasso and Brandt.
Nice ball from DeMasso.
Far side it goes, just rolls away harmlessly.
Now, Bellucci, we didn't even mention in the first half. And
Not really, no.
Exerted his presence here.
Coming down to the midway point of the second half, tied at 1. As Murph alluded to, without a doubt, in this game, just based on how it's gone, the next goal seems just remarkably crucial.
That'll be a tough mountain to climb for whatever team goes down.
Yeah. Bellucci was down for a moment. Looked like he was holding his leg, but he jumped right back up and ran a good 30 yards. I will not accuse anything. As McGarry makes the approach. And then I'll go harmlessly off to the side of the Wilton net.
So what's your take on soccer and the acting?
I am not a fan. I wouldn't think any fan would be a fan of it. You know, I want it to be clean. But I don't want to see that in the NFL or anywhere else.
Exactly.
If it's legitimate hard play and someone gets legitimately hurt, that's obviously a different story.
And they have started giving cards for flopping. It's harder in soccer with the one referee.
It is. Now it's turned back the other way for the Warriors as they try to scoot it aside, and they do.
Here's number 1, a good defensive play there.
Yeah, I'd like to give him credit. However,
of course, I can't read anything in this.
Well, I will tell you in all honesty, we know Marr is the goalkeeper. That's number 1 on your scorecard because there's no other number 1.
Well, that was number 1 on Wilton.
Right, you're right. I'm sorry, number 1 on either way. I don't have a number 1.
Maybe I'm reading that wrong.
No, you're reading it exactly right because I saw the same thing in the first half and kept saying to myself, I hope he doesn't do anything of importance. Which brings me around to a favorite line that people have heard me utter when I don't know the name. We just say he's a delightful young man. Or young lady, as we are covering female sports, of course. To the far side it goes. Scoville for the Falcons, and he gets knocked down.
Scoville with a nice little 1-2 by himself. Fooled the Wilton defender, taken down.
Another sport they have begun to frown on such flopping, of course, is ice hockey. And in the NHL, they will also give you a penalty for such things, such tomfoolery.
In the NBA even, right?
The NBA, it's becoming a little more prevalent as well. And let's face it, flopping in the NBA is a huge problem.
They have really cracked down on it.
They really have. They really have. So many of the big sports are coming around with this kind of embellishment, if you will, as that goes off to the side of the net.
I guess depending where you look at it, it's dishonesty or creativity.
Yeah. And there's no doubt, you know, so long as it's not frowned upon, it's still gamesmanship. So I can't take that away.
In soccer, though, you hate to see a game decided in a one-goal game.
You do.
A flop draws a penalty.
I mean, I can remember, I didn't play baseball at very high levels, but I can remember my coach saying to me, if you get asked if a ball hit you, you're saying yes. Even if it didn't, we'll forgive you.
I just remember seeing Derek Jeter do that in a game, too.
I was coming around to that very point, Murph. Down the near side it comes. As Josh Reeve. And Reeve and Bellucci got together for a moment. Now substitution coming in for the Warriors with 18:50 to go in the second half. Tied at 1.
And Reeve has been pushed forward a little more in this half.
Yeah. Reeve will bring it in. Brandt setting up out in front for a moment. And it's Reeve who gets it, turns it to Brandt. Brandt for a moment, then Reeve there. Reeve goes and grabs it, but it's the Falcons coming away with it. So for a moment, almost a huge breakdown by the Falcons. Now they get it back. It's Allers. Allers about 20 yards out, comes over to the near side. He got knocked aside. The play being made by Lane.
The corner for Wilton. And yes, Wilton, good chance there, but the Ludlowe player came back. Just get in the way of that.
18 to go. Second half tied at 1.
Now, in a tight game like this, you really want to take advantage of your set pieces.
So out of that corner. It's about the one part of this place that I'm having trouble seeing. It's loose, and it bounces out in front of the net. So good job to turn it right back the other way. And a chant of "Let's Go Ludlowe" from the partisan cheering section down to our left. what I spy might be a minor whiteout among the students who have shown up. A minor one.
Are those the Wilton students?
No, those are Ludlowe.
Okay.
Excuse me. And in this day and age, everybody's got to be a something out.
Exactly.
Blackout, whiteout, red out, whatever it may be.
We should get takeout for the booth here.
Takeout be very nice. Sent over near side. Oh, it's right there. And unable to get anything on it. That looked like Bellucci. For Bellucci, we'll have an aqua out.
He'll be the only one.
Actually, well, no. You know, Bellucci, there's a second one there.
Those cleats have been cloned.
Those are John Kovac Miami Dolphins.
Right.
That's Alec Williams, number 14. And, in fact, he's got it. Sends it ahead. Bounces around, turns back the other way. Ravichandran. Sent ahead by Watson. Far side it goes for the Warriors. Ball loose again. Beg your pardon, that was Almeida. Now sent down and over to the near side and harmlessly goes out in the corner.
Ravichandran came out to close that one down. Almeida, though, very dangerous. You get the sense that he could turn the game.
Of course, if you're new to soccer or football, you know anyone wearing number 10, that is a number of great honor in this sport. Back out towards center, the great Pele, and now, of course, Leo Messi as well. Pooched ahead down the right side, and it'll bounce away.
And number 10, traditionally the sort of the attacking midfielder.
Yes.
Of course, number 9, the striker. And back in the day, it was a little more organized. 7 and 11 were the wings. When you figure with soccer in the 30s and 40s, they're playing 5 forwards.
Right.
It's become a much more defensive game.
Livingstone able to harmlessly corral that one, send it right back. But the Falcons take it again. Now it gets sent all the way down to the other end. So the Falcons will reset. And the quick move by Marr. The header by Lord. And again, Lord not a big factor in this game.
No, he had that nice defensive play
in
the first half, and he did score their goal Monday. He's a very versatile all-around player, so I expect them to get him more involved. But he's playing more of a defensive role. In the Greenwich game, we saw him come up more when they fell behind.
Senior Noah McDonald was about to throw it in, but the substitution made, so Nick Devatzis comes back in for the Warriors. Tied at 1, 14 to go, second half. Back to play at Almeida. He's on the far side. Our broadcast brought to you by a lot of great people: Walter Stewart's Market, Pamby Motors, Coastal Orthopedics, and Carl Chevrolet. We thank them for their support. And they will all support us on Saturday at Cardinal Stadium in Greenwich as the Greenwich Cardinals take on the Darien Blue Wave in high school football.
And who do you like in that game?
I hate to say, and I'm really never fond of making predictions simply because I'm the guy calling the action, and I don't have a betting interest either way. But that being said, I have to give the advantage right now to the Blue Wave. The Warriors hopping mad.
And that was a definite handball.
But play continues.
Bellucci even stopped.
Turned back the other way. He did. Down the play at Gutierrez. Gutierrez around Ravichandran. Left behind for Reeve. Reeve again, and he's able to get it away.
And Wilton has a right to be upset about that.
Yeah.
That was a clear. Bellucci even stopped himself as admitting guilt.
Legitimate gripe, but no damage done. So I definitely want to see what Greenwich has got in them this Saturday. If they can find, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, If they can find enough defense, because they're going to be dealing with a very high-powered Blue Wave offensive attack, but the Cardinals can put up points too. So we'll see. Saturday at 4, all the coverage begins at 1, right here on the HAN Network. And we've got some new folks as part of the crew tonight, so we send our thanks out to them. And then there's this other guy in the back of the booth, if we can just get rid of him. I won't even mention his name. He gets mad when I do. Packers fan. Far side it goes. And sprawling down, no harm.
Ravi Chandran, another good job. Just kind of shield the player from the ball.
I know A.J. Simonowski, also a Packer fan, fairly happy with the result of last week. A pretty good game. Under 11.5 to go second half. We're tied at 1 in a good one between Fairfield Ludlowe and Wilton. Back it goes for the Falcons.
And you get the feeling this game could hinge on a defensive mistake.
Absolutely. That's Williams for the Falcons. Off to McCardle. Sent down that far right side. Loose it goes, and they'll head over toward the visitors' grandstands, which are on the other side of the fence, obviously away from the track near Roger Ludlowe Middle School, which is where we parked the HAN Cruiser not that long ago.
And those bleachers obviously not too popular.
No, not today for sure. The HAN Cruiser now, that one will be known forever as HAN Cruiser 1.0, as the 2.0 version has made its debut. 10:10 to go, second half. Here's the throw-in. Collision down there.
Yeah, that was a push by the Ludlowe player trying to...
Looked like McCardle the push.
Trying to gain space for himself.
I believe it was Lord for the Warriors, and it was. They have smaller numbers on the front of their kit and then the larger numbers on the backside.
There you go, nice.
And the Warriors send it back over near their bench. Jim Lewicki, the head coach for Wilton.
And he won't be happy with that non-call.
No. And another push over on that far side.
The ref might want to pack up and get out of here quickly.
No question. Just about 9 to play, second half, in a 1-1 tie. There's the approach. Through traffic was McCardle.
Yeah, another ball played nicely in there, but just no one was able to get ahead on it.
Right.
And the crowd's picking it up now.
8:39, clock running. And Livingstone to make the approach. Low line drive that bounced in front of Restrepo. Ravichandran. Restrepo gets it back, looks to his right, finds someone over there. Hopping, looked like he was banged up a little bit, is Scoville.
No, he's...
Yeah. And there's the whistle. Scoville, he must have landed awkwardly, Murph. It's the only thing I could quickly note. And then he'll take a seat,
now.
yeah, on the far side.
Is it maybe a cramp?
Could be. Cramp, Charlie horse, something along those lines. Action will continue as they throw it in off the header from McCardle. Restrepo trying to come over and play it, but a Warrior able to pooch it away.
We'll see if he comes back or...
Does look like they're stretching him out.
Right.
So that would tell you cramp. 7.5 to go, 1-1 tie.
And we'll see if these long throw-ins can finally pay off for Ludlowe.
I believe that's Nascimento throwing it in, but a little hard to see. A little dark down there. Oh, the ball was there for a moment. Falcons will come over and play it near side. Trying to get around a man is Bellucci.
Offside.
Yep.
Oh, a beautiful throw in there.
Oh, terrific. It was there. 6:53 to go.
That's such an offensive weapon to have someone who can do that.
Near side. Tarcio Almeida. Then it was Damaso to the far side it goes. Now Ravichandran will go retrieve it. 6.5 to play in a 1-1 tie.
I mean, imagine a close game like this, final minutes, that Ludlowe were trying to get the ball to Tulio Almeida. Let him create.
Right.
I mean, Wilton has had trouble taking the ball away from him, but he hasn't seen much of the ball here in the latter part of the second half.
Watson on the far end. So the throw in for the Warriors. Bounces over. That is Almeida. Tarcio showing some big moves there, then takes a seat, knocked down by Austin Slater.
Almeida the younger, drawing the foul. Nice little step over there.
Yup. And the official having a little chat with Slater. They break that conversation up. 5:18 to go, clock running.
Let's see if Tulio gets a chance at this one. He was disappointed not to take the last free kick.
Right now it's Tulio is standing alongside. And it will be Tarcio right into the wall of Wiltonians. And then sent down toward lane. Slater. Restrepo. Turn back. A Falcon there if he can do anything with it, and a whistle.
Bush leg.
In the back of the net, but that's coming back.
Yep. 4.5 to go. That clock ticking down in a 1-1 tie.
Bellucci's really been impressive here for Ludlowe in the second half. I mean, that play really set up by his fancy footwork over here on the sideline.
4:15 to go, second half. Nice breeze blowing into the Taft Field press box. That's Tarcio. Almeida sent it ahead. Ravichandran, he got tangled up with McCardle, and out of bounds it goes.
And Ravichandran recovered a beautiful ball.
Yeah.
From Tarcio.
3:49. Second half.
And a chance for another long throw-in.
Everybody taking a moment to reset. Again, looks like Nascimento to throw in. That's a long way away in a little dark corner of the field. In it comes through traffic. A lot of Warriors there. Now some Falcons, and it's the Warriors coming up with it.
Livingstone got to it first, dropped it, but able to recover it.
He'll send it right back, and it goes into the body of Damaso. 3:05 to go, second half. Schneidman over there for the Warriors.
Wilton defense has done a real good job closing down numerous blocks tonight.
Still give the edge to the Falcons. I think they've had the better of the play, but the Warriors have nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah, I would agree. Ludlow looked a little more dangerous.
Coming through traffic. And again, a whistle. 2.5 to go. So Livingstone will line it up. Played out to midfield. The Warriors will reset over near side. Tarcio Almeida now thrown back in quickly. 2:02 to go, and Wilton making some changes. So again, they'll reset with Devatzes to bring it in.
You have to believe Wilton would be happy to come away with a point here.
Sure.
On the road against the reigning FCI champs.
Devatzes for the throw-in with 1:38 to go. Slater got away from him. Bellucci sent it back the other way. Again, scooting through past Reeve. Down to 120 and out to the Wilton bench. $1:13 remaining. So the Falcons will line things up in front of the Warrior bench. Here's the long throw. They want it to stay with the Falcons, but it'll be the Warriors.
They're going to have to hurry.
49 to play.
They don't look like they're in a rush, though.
No. And obviously, you don't want a defensive miscue if you're the Warriors. Sent ahead it goes. Now the Falcons with a half minute to play. A long punt down into the Ludlow end, turned over. Taken by Brandt. Brandt sends it! Oh, just wide!
Oh, a great effort by Brandt. Took the ball away from, I believe that was Bellucci. Came in, a nice shot, just a little wide.
Brandt's got to get back up, although 5 to go. Here's the long goal kick. Down to midfield, down to 1, and this one comes to an end.
And that would have been a dramatic game winner right there. But Brandt did well to create.
Brandt is still kind of stunned.
Well, the shot from here, it looked like I thought it might get to touch the corner, but it just curved a little too much.
And they will console one another.
Well, Wilton, I think a good result.
I think both teams can feel good about it, but Brandt knows it was there.
Right, that was he did well to take the ball away. He had lots of space. Again, he was a tough angle.
Yeah.
And there really wasn't another player to cross to. So he took it himself, which was wise. But, all things said, 2 goals within a quick span and then some decent chances. But,
yep,
the Wilton defense did what it had to do.
So let's take a moment to catch our breath, and we'll put a wrap on this one. It was a fun one, though, and it's in the books. The final score from Taft Field. Wilton 1, Fairfield Ludlowe 1. Eric Gendron tickling the ivories. We're out for a break here on the HAN Network.
When you experience a sports injury, you want to get better and fast. Coastal Ortho Express gives you direct access to orthopedic care quickly. Their physicians are fellowship trained in sports medicine at world-class universities and are also team doctors for area football teams. For specialized personal care of sports injuries, go to Coastal Ortho Express. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark Building, 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or coastalorthoexpress.com. Coastal Orthopedics, keeping you on the move.
The fall bite is heating up, Albies, bonita, blackfish, alligator blues, and stripers are following the large schools of bait in the Long Island Sound. This is the time to visit the New England coast, and the Dock Shop can get you outfitted with the latest fishing gear, jackets, hats, gloves, and fleece. Boater, beach bum, fishermen simply love the New England coast. This is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, now in 2 locations, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport.
School means back to busy, and Stewart's Market can save you precious time by stocking all of your favorite essentials under one roof. For a healthy start to school, we have all the ingredients. Walter Stewart's, your family-owned fresh local market, 229 Elm Street and at stewartsmarket.com.
This is the home of the Fairfield County Interscholastic Athletic Conference, your home for FCAC sports, the HAN Network.
Well, it wasn't meant to be for either team tonight. A 1-1 draw is the final score here. With Tim Murphy, I'm Rob Adams at Taft Field on the campus of Fairfield Ludlowe High School in Fairfield. Good one between Ludlowe, the Falcons, and the Wilton Warriors. And sometimes, look, I'm never going to be a fan of ties, Murph. I've never been that kind of guy, but I don't know. There's something about this one that almost seems fitting.
It seems proper. Both teams, I would say, Ludlow a little better play, but Wilton had chances. The Wilton defense, sometimes some shaky moments, but, they did well clearing the ball. And, Ludlow looked like any moment someone individually could break it open. But at the end, actually, Wilton with the individual chance from Brandt.
And Brandt was so close right here at the end, and then his reaction just sprawled out in the football end zone. But both teams took a trot over near the respective fan benches and got nice receptions from each side here. It was a good crowd tonight for this Thursday night of soccer, and really a very nice FCAC, kind of early season. We're getting to about the quarter pole, but pretty good game for this night.
Right, and Wilton's really showing they can play with the best. Their schedule should lighten up a little after this. They've already played Greenwich and now Ludlow and Ward, so they're definitely in the mix. I mean, they're no doubt they're right there with the best teams. And in Brandt, they really have someone who can create.
Absolutely. They got a couple of good players for sure, not only Brandt but Allers as well, and some others that we mentioned throughout the night. And it was just a really solid game. It's the kind of game that you would sign for in an FCAC championship.
Right, and Ravi Chandran again, such an anchor in the center of that defense for Wilton.
Absolutely true. So, no, really a good game here tonight. The 2 goals both scored very quickly, very close together. Mason Jennings got the first goal of the night for Fairfield Ludlowe. That came in the 6th minute at 5:33, and it was 1-0 at that point. Then Harrison Allers off a penalty kick at 6:58 tied it at 1, and that's the way it stayed through the rest of the night. And these two teams fought hard. Got a little physical at one point, but really calmed down quickly after that.
No, well-played game. Not too many interruptions. So the second half really flew by. Some physical play, but nothing, only 1 card.
Yeah, nothing to get too crazy about, and certainly a lot of fun to watch. So, once again, Murph, thanks.
No, it was great.
Yeah, it was great fun. Tonight, our broadcast was brought to you by our great sponsors, Walter Stewart's Market, Pamby Motors, Coastal Orthopedics, and Carl Chevrolet. Tomorrow, coffee break gets your day started and pretty much ends your day for a lot of us around here. A lot of folks working hard, so 11 o'clock tomorrow morning for coffee break, and then we're right back into it on Saturday with a full slate of action as FCAC Tailgate kicks off our day from Cardinal Stadium at Greenwich High School at 1 p.m. And then at 2, it is FCAC Game Day, and we'll be with you from Cardinal Stadium at 2 o'clock. Rebroadcast of some of those goodies between 3 and, let's say, 3:50, and then Chris Irway and I on the call for Greenwich and Darien in high school football. Should be a good one. Both teams at 1-0. Both teams with large numbers on the scoreboard last week, so we'll see which one gets the better of that on Saturday at Cardinal Stadium in Greenwich. Looking forward to that. Too many folks on the crew to try to mention them all tonight, but they all did a great job. Eric Gendron directing, A.J. Simonowski, of course, here, Tim Murphy alongside of me, Tracy Iazi certainly made sure that the cables and the internet were outstanding, and a big tip of the cap to Dave Schultz, the athletic director here at Fairfield Ludlowe, for hooking us up, as we say, in the trade. But that'll do it from Fairfield Ludlowe High School. Once again, the final score: the Wilton Warriors won, and the Fairfield Ludlowe Falcons won. For the Warriors on the season, they are now 3-1-1, and for the Falcons, they are 3-0-2. Coffee break gets your day started tomorrow, and then high school football Saturday at 1. kickoff at 4 o'clock, the Greenwich Cardinals and the Darien Blue Wave. For everyone here at Taft Field, Fairfield Ludlowe High School, alongside Tim Murphy, I'm Rob Adams. Have a great night, everyone. It's a 1-1 tie between Wilton and Fairfield Ludlowe in boys soccer. From Fairfield, good night, everyone, on the HAN Network.
The preceding has been a presentation of the HAN Network, the leader for local news, sports, and entertainment in Fairfield and Westchester counties.